So, dude, there's a lot of things you need to clear up over here. What is your name? Is it Troy Becker or Paul Zimmer? How old are you? Did your TikTok account that has 7 million followers actually get banned?
So you want the truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Do you want to start from the beginning? All the way to...
Oh, like the day I was born? Don't
Yeah,
make
so
fun
when
of me
you
for
were
the way I say born.
Boring. Boring.
born.
This is boring, not boring.
I was born.
Boring. Oh, and by the way, if I sound funny, just know I'm really sick.
And if I sound funny, that's just my voice. I would be scared if I wasn't the one that got you sick.
So a lot of you don't know this, but a little someone over here did not get his start on Musical.ly/TikTok. You actually got it on YouTube.
I got my start on YouTube with my best friend. I think it was in like 2014. We had a channel called ! So that's how I got my start in social media, was on that channel. It was honestly a lot of fun. We did like a lot of different challenges that were going on YouTube at the time. We were obsessed with like emo bands and whatnot. Oh gosh. Break my computer, why don't you?
So actually though, going to the beginning for real now, okay?
For real,
and beginning, we're talking like, when did you get like introduced to social media, and what were the reasons for you to start doing it?
God, I was like 12 years old, so I don't remember how I was exactly introduced to it. I actually think my older brother showed me videos on YouTube of like the OG YouTubers, or just like funny viral videos, and I was homeschooled, so I didn't have many friends, and I would always see like people commenting on the YouTube videos.
Oh, we can tell you were homeschooled.
Wow. And it was just something that I wanted to be a part of because I was homeschooled, I didn't have many friends, and everyone at the time was obviously going to school, so connecting with people is difficult when you were in my situation. Like, I grew up in Maryland, in the middle of nowhere.
When like your only source of conversation was
with your siblings, your neighbors, or if you were like on sports teams. Like, thankfully my mom did put me on a lot of sports teams. Any other communication was just kind of through the internet. I felt like a loser, and I wanted to build a community or just reach people or have friends. That was kind of how I got into it.
Now jumping to Musical.ly. Musical.ly became a thing in 2015, which if you guys don't know what Musical.ly is, it's TikTok. I'm just gonna ask, did you see yourself eventually doing thirst traps?
Doing thirst traps? I don't think anyone ever sees themselves potentially doing thirst traps. But in all fairness, the whole app was thirst traps. That's how guys grew on the app. Everyone was like pulling up their shirt. It's so cringy, but I don't know, the videos would always perform well. I don't know, being able to reach more people, even if you're pulling up your shirt, seemed like a good idea.
But the start was also, we did do a lot of those really cool challenges, like the mannequin challenge and all those different things that actually was like a lot of fun. So it wasn't always thirst traps. I feel like the app kind of transitioned to thirst traps a little further.
Well, I think that thirst traps, they were always around in the app, if that makes sense, because they had the cool challenges.
Pay attention to them. Okay.
It was kind of, I don't know, it was like the way. It was the way to grow dumb to be able to do them that coolly.
If you were already big on YouTube and then you started getting a following on Musical.ly/TikTok, why did you leave your YouTube channel then?
There's not really an easy way to answer, because I love that channel so much and I had so much fun creating videos on that channel. The community that we built, the potato family, everyone who watched that channel or would, you know, meet us in real life, like, it was always such a good time. But without giving too many details, I would say there were certain situations that I was not okay with that went down, and at that point I had to walk away from the channel. And also the fact that the person I was doing the channel with no longer lived in Maryland. I still lived in Maryland. We saw things creatively differently. It was a really difficult situation, but I wouldn't have left it without a good reason.
That was really hard for you because it was such a big part of your life. And I remember how highly you spoke of that channel. And I don't even think you were expecting the separation to happen the way it did? Like,
I never wanted to leave the channel. I saw that channel always going on forever, like still going on now. I think for me, that was the saddest thing, is the way that it ended and the narrative that was painted from the fact that I left the channel.
moving on to Musical.ly/TikTok, when they introduced the live streams. Lively, as some of you guys might know. Why did you even like start doing those live streams? Like, what made you want to do them?
I think it comes back to the initial reason I joined social media, feeling like a loser and not having any friends. When you could live stream and people could literally comment directly on there and you could like shout them out or, hey, like, how's it going? It was that direct fan interaction that I was addicted to. You're talking to thousands of people right then and there. And I just loved connecting with the people that watched me.
Were you aware that there was any money in it?
The craziest thing is I wasn't. People would actually send me gifts like I'm very rich gift or the dab reel. And I was thanking people and like shouting them out and thank you for this, thank you for that. I think it took me like 2 or 3 weeks of going live every single day for 2 to 3 hours till one day I figured out the like gift balance and I was like, oh my god, that was money. I actually had no idea that meant that they were spending money to send it over.
Where did the idea of the duets come from? Duets are doing a video with the people.
I felt the need to do something because people were literally giving me money. So I always felt the need to shout out every single person that ever sent me something, any gift that it was. So I almost sounded robotic, like, oh, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you, thank you, thank you. But it's like, people are sending money. How can you not? And then I don't know, I got the idea because a lot of people would comment when I was streaming like, oh, can we make a duet together or whatever. So I got the idea, okay, top gifter gets a duet, just because you're not about to give all of these gifts and get nothing. That's, to me, is just wrong.
I remember seeing a video of you that was circulating everywhere. I don't remember where I saw it. It was like people calling you creepy for like calling one of your followers cute or something. I don't know what you have to say about
I think
that
I know
one.
the video you're talking about. And to be honest with you, it's like everyone who supported me and watched me, I know that they were like a lot younger and I have nephews in my life, so I kind of looked at them in that light. And a lot of them had self-esteem issues where they would comment on my Musical.ly/TikToks. Oh, like, I think I'm beautiful, but my friends think I'm ugly, or I feel like I'm not beautiful because my friends say I'm fat or whatever. So whenever I had an opportunity to talk with them, I always wanted to make a positive impact, just like, oh no, like, you're beautiful, I love you, you're so cute, you're such a cutie. Trying to, you know, give them some self-esteem, because once again, I had none of that when I was growing up and I was, you know, super young. So I felt like, I don't know, I felt like if I could boost their self-esteem, that would be a good thing to do. People that looked at that in a creepy way, I don't think they understood where I was coming from.
Here's when I'm gonna call you out. You commented on people's posts saying to join your Lively for a chance to win a duet. And this is where everyone else did it, but you also did have an advantage because you had more influence than everybody else.
I'll take accountability on that. The influence I had at the time, it wasn't fair for me to be doing that. And if I could do it over again, I would not do that. And if I did hurt anyone by doing that, I am sorry about that.
I feel like it caused a lot of friction between you and other influencers because of the fact that it felt like your voice was louder than theirs.
I would definitely agree, because at the time I was the #1 or like top streamer. I was doing it every single day, and I definitely can see where I might have pissed a lot of people off doing that, and it wasn't cool of me.
But did you actually deliver on the duets, or did you not?
On the duets, yeah. So the thing is, I posted, as you know, 20 TikToks, Musical.lys every single day. When I would put out the duets and whatnot, I mean, there's so many posts that sometimes people would be like, hey, like, where's my duet or whatever, and I'd be like live streaming and I'd say like, hey, you've got to just scroll through like all my posts, because I like posted so much. Basically, they had a leaderboard. The more that you would post, the more likes that you would get, the further up on the leaderboard you would get. If if you were high up on the leaderboard, the more followers you could get. Hence posting so many. But yeah, every single time I promised a duet, I delivered on the duets.
Going live every single day and sometimes twice a day, you were posting how many? And that's what we're talking, over a year and a half or more of live streams. So do the math.
There was a couple situations where people we made duets with were like, oh, where is it? But the main thing was other people who were going live on the platform that were, whatever reason, envious of, you know, how many people watched us, our streams, who would actually say like, oh, don't join their broadcast because they're scammers.
Yeah.
That was a big thing going on. Like, there was absolutely no proof of it. There was nothing out there, but it was a way to say like, oh, don't go into their broadcast. It was a way for them to, I guess, like, get back
at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
By basically like, hey, it's not cool that you commented on my gifter, which it is not cool. But then they would go on their stream and then straight lie and be like, oh, he doesn't make duets. He doesn't even do this. He's a scammer.
How was it experiencing at that point the band Paul Zimmer thing? Were you expecting that?
No, not at all. Like, there was the little chirping and whatnot from other people who were streaming like, oh, he's a scammer, like he doesn't make these duets, whatever. But I never expected like anything after that. When the whole band Paul Zimmer thing came out, I was like, wait, over what exactly? Like, I was dumbfounded when it happened. Like, I thought it was almost like, oh, this is like, what is this, like a joke? And that's when I like went into the hashtag and started looking into it, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is like for reals.
This is serious, yeah. Why did you not publicly say anything about the hashtag, or why did you not address it at the time?
I didn't initially say anything because I spoke to specific people who I would call like advisors or friends or family, and everyone kind of said, you know, let it blow over, whatever, because obviously all the duets and everything were on my page. That was why it was started in the first place. So I thought like, oh, okay, you know, it's all on my page. People are going to be able to see this. It's not a big deal. Everyone is telling me, you know, don't say anything about it. It's going to blow over. It's going to be fine. So I didn't feel like I needed to say anything right then and there.
Especially that this was your first experience of something so major.
Yeah, I had been in social media and doing it for a really long time. So I didn't
But you've gotten hate.
I've gotten hate, like thirst traps.
Thirst
like,
traps, you're gonna get
ugly,
hate.
like,
Yeah,
all
you're gonna
these
get
things.
roasted.
But I mean, like, to this level, like a cancellation, I should say.
Yeah. Talking about getting advice from people in your life and whatever, I know you spoke to Musically about the hashtag because it did get very overwhelming. I want you to kind of talk about that.
I had a good relationship with the people at Musically. We were in there almost every week. Like, literally, they'd always be throwing some kind of event. So I had a really good relationship with them, and I reached out and I said like, hey, you know, can you take a look at this hashtag? People are telling me to unalive myself. They're telling me like the worst things ever. The advice was, well, we can't remove the hashtag, even though they definitely could. And the advice was just let it blow over.
And I remember they called us both in actually for a meeting. Even though a lot of the heat was on you, I don't understand why I was involved, because it was something that I was like, yo, from the beginning, here it is. When I did get any people coming to me and saying, oh, you know, where are the duets? Where are the things? I immediately would like pull up my other phone. I had my live streaming phone, and then I had my other phone.
Fancy dual phones.
And then I would like show them, be like, oh, you just have to scroll through these 10 or 20 videos. I realized then that a lot of people weren't getting the notifications, and then that's when it hit me. I was like, also these claims are coming from the fact that people are not getting any notification. We had a good meeting with them is what we honestly thought. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that video of, you know, us breaking up and whatever, epically. A lot of people like remember
I think
that.
like you burned my picture, or I burned yours, and you like ripped mine, or the gore is insane.
We got engaged right before that hashtag.
Not
during,
before the breakup.
No. Before the hashtag got as big as it got.
Yeah.
And we had plans on sharing that engagement. We just didn't do it immediately. Well, anyways, it was like a surprise to me. I didn't actually expect it.
I really wanted to share the engagement. Like, I was so excited about it because you guys had been following us since basically the start of our relationship, and I felt like we wanted to bring you guys along for the ride.
Actually, at that time, like, our relationship was
fully online.
You know, we'll talk about it publicly, and then that's when the hashtag grew. Why did you not want to share that information?
I was still operating off of bad advice with let things blow over, this is the way to do it. And the engagement was like a good thing, like a really good thing happening in my real life. Like, not through my phone or anything, like real life. I'm engaged, this is amazing. So I think I just leaned into what felt good at the time, which was our real life. And that led to the fact that I didn't address, you know, the hashtag or things going on, because why would I, you know what I mean, ruin this good feeling that I'm having to like go online when it's filled with hate. I still, in my head, I remember, let it blow over, and then that we were gonna share it was kind of the feeling that I had about it.
And then we had a wedding to plan. That's when we decided to take a little break.
Yeah, I think that's when we decided, hey, we should take a little break. Family's coming into town. Like, none of our family lived in California. We're planning a wedding. We're having a wedding. Like, all of these things were happening so quickly. We just put all of our focus into that because it was like real life was happening right now.
Did you actually think it was gonna be a little break?
Yeah, I thought it would be a little break. You know, we could get married, we could, you know, go on our honeymoon and be like right back. I know that we were missing you guys so much, just that interaction that we built. So it was definitely counting down the days till we're gonna come back in a way.
The fact that we never took a break, that was not a thing for us. We were people to be like, go, 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 post, post, post. And that's when the shock happened onto our accounts. People assumed we were banned. So were you banned?
No, but I did lose access to my account at the time.
Did you actually realize that taking a break made people think that you got banned? And it made people actually like go crazy with these stories that you were banned and you actually did
everything that everyone said. And at that point too, all these other like stories and conspiracies and things were building. So no, I did not realize by taking a break and stepping away that like everything would come to a climax and just explode. I had no idea.
Yeah, we got engaged, we got married. It was like within months of each other. It happened like so fast, and planning a wedding is not that easy. Honeymoon, just it was like one thing after the other. Now leading into the name change, the death threats, and the insane amount of hate. Even though we had all these good things happening in our life.
Yeah, I remember you were pregnant, walking around Los Angeles. You would FaceTime me that you're being stalked. I think that was the turning point where I realized that I had to get us out of LA. We couldn't be there. It wasn't safe anymore, like in our actual life.
The text messages, people got our numbers.
Yeah, the phone calls.
The fact that I couldn't even go out alone. I was terrified. And until this day, I have insane amount of trauma. At that point, we left LA. Before we left LA, you had to change your name. Yeah. Why did you change your name?
When I joined social media, I picked Paul Zimmer because my mom wouldn't let me do social media unless I had like some like stage names that no one could figure out, you know. But
which is understandable because as a parent now, I would never let my kids do social media and use their real name because of safety reasons. It's not a thing.
I always knew I was gonna change my name because I didn't connect with, you know, Paul Joseph Gutowski. A lot of people always thought that my legal name was Paul Zimmer. It was never my legal name. And with all of the safety things going on with the death threats and when you change your name, they like publicly put it out there. So I wasn't about to like publicly put out there whoever is changing their name to Paul Zimmer. That just would have given people more ammunition, and I didn't resonate with like Paul anymore. It was a combination of a lot of things, but I landed on the name Troy Becker, and this was what, like 5 or 6 years ago? Yeah, that's why I changed my name.
Halfway through my pregnancy, which, you know, we kind of shared a little bit about, LA was no longer a place we wanted to live in. We loved it so much, but it wasn't a place we wanted to raise a kid. It wasn't safe. And we moved outside of LA to like this very remote area.
Middle of nowhere type area.
Yeah, and moving to the new house and having a kid right after that, that's when all the craziness happened. You had a post that was put out there on Paul Zimmer's account,
yeah, saying
that Troy Becker is not Paul Zimmer, and Paul Zimmer is not Troy Becker, and that you were 16 years old. Yikes. Did you post that?
All of my Musical.ly TikTok posts, hardcore, that was my main focus. So I did employ someone to do my Instagram posting. At the time that the post went out though, I wasn't doing social media anymore. I was not paying them, we weren't working together. And I didn't realize that they still had the login for my Instagram because they did all of my Instagram posting for me. And that's when a certain image went out with a certain caption. I remember getting like text messages, "Are you losing your mind?"
People were like, "What is wrong with him? Like, he is crazy."
Yeah, I don't know why it happened. The person that posted it though, I've dealt with them. They're not in my life. I have no communication with them anymore. I don't know if it was a spite thing, if it was a joke, or like whatever it was. This post went out there and just ignited so much. So yeah, that's how that post went out.
You found out through
text
everybody
messages,
else.
Yeah. I found out after it was too late. I had every news company like going to then my acting agent and manager at the time for the story, wanted an interview, like publicity and things that I had never even experienced 1% of. I had never seen something like this ever. It was like all over Snapchat news, all over everywhere.
Because it made him look
so
so delusional and insane.
Especially I was like 24 at the time. I feel like I could have been better though. Like,
but you can't tell when people are gonna like do that to you. You know what I mean? Like you can't. It's not it's not something that
I just wasn't even focused on it is the thing. Like I wasn't even thinking about Instagram. And anyone wondering, you know, okay, you said that you want to be hidden, like you don't want to be in the spotlight for right now. You want your safety, and why are you doing these acting classes? Acting was always a passion and hobby of mine. So when I had a little bit more free time, I got back into it and I just really enjoyed doing it. I never had any idea that things from it would go out there, but I've just always loved acting.
So after that post though, you never cleared anything up, dude. Like you just added more fuel to that fire. Why would you do that? Why didn't you just clear it up immediately?
The truth is, I couldn't believe in my head that people thought that it was real. Like it's so clearly me. I thought like there's no way. We're literally it's me. So I think a part of
the only difference is just like a different hairstyle.
I think a part of me wanted to almost like troll in a way, so I made like several different videos. Me and Paul Zimmer are not the same people, or like I don't remember exactly what I said, but I kind of leaned into it because it's like it's clearly me. Okay, I think COVID started to happen.
I think COVID was starting to happen. We were about to go into isolation, so
I think I felt like, screw it. Y'all are already saying all these things. Why not just, I don't know, just add some fuel to it?
Were people even believing the fact that
there's
two different people?
I don't know, because I think people made breakdown videos like, no, look, if you compare his eyes from here to here, it's clearly him. Yeah, so I think that there were some people that believed it was genuinely two different people, and then there were other people who were like, this is a joke, and then I think it was just mixed across the board of just like all these different reactions.
Even though you never cleared it up, which you should have. I know we both should have actually made a a little video explaining what has happened. But we kind of just both came back to social media during COVID because of, like, you know, isolation, having a newborn, lonely in the house, isolated from your family. You know, we were like, whatever, you know what, this information's already out there.
Yeah.
It happened against your will, but we are far away from all the craziness that maybe the whole like hate has really calmed down, and that's when we both decided to come back. We both made videos together during COVID and we were quarantined and everything, but there came a point when we both disappeared again, which was because of the fake mic.
At this point, real life was hitting. Real problems were hitting. I needed to get a job, you know, provide for my family, and none of these things social media could provide me. Yeah, I had to take what I could get. I think I actually met a lot of you guys when I was working the job that I was working. I was working a real job. COVID was, you know, going on at the time, and to make matters even worse, your uncle, who we thought just had COVID, to find out it was stage 4 cancer, so immediately she had to fly to Florida to be there with him. Not to mention, even on top of that, our relationship was rocky, to put it lightly. So it was
especially
like,
having a newborn, and
yeah,
I was able to go to Florida and spend time with my uncle before he passed away.
And when he passed away, he was a huge part to your life.
It was the hardest death I've ever experienced, which caused me to really go through a massive depression, which really put more stress on our relationship.
That is why we separated for about a year, just because the amount of stress on both of our plates.
Both realized the most important thing in our life is our son, and that's what we have to work on for him. So that's when we decided to leave
California and move to Georgia. There was a big fear, still have it, I'm trying to break out of it, where it's easier to post like a relatable thing or something so surface level that's not really personal to me. So I think that there's a massive thing there, and even like making content together with you, I think because we've had strain on our relationship from social media and certain things, there's a heaviness there as well, where it's like, like, let's say I made a short little video, put it on my TikTok, and that was the first time I like put my authentic self out there to you guys again, and seeing the amount of love and how much you guys missed me, missed this girl, missed us, it kind of reminded me that we had millions and millions of followers and people that we called friends, fans, like in our lives, and that connection with you guys, it reminded me of that, and something kind of snapped in me where I'm like, hey, even if we post something and it gets a lot of hate or whatever, even if there's some good comments or we reach some people or positively impact them, it's worth it then. And I think that's something that took a really, really long time to like work through.
7 years later, and you're finally hearing the story.
Wait, what about you, Jamie Rose?
Now that's a video for another day. I'll tell you guys about my entire lore, but subscribe.
There's a lot of Jamie Rose lore, much more than Paul Zimmer. This girl is full of secrets.
I don't know if it's that
If you think I'm crazy, this girl.
No, seriously. Yeah, just subscribe to this channel and I will give you guys all the details for sure, because there's a lot.
Yeah.
So before we end this, where is that apology that everyone has been waiting for the last 7 years? Too late, but
I definitely owe you guys an apology. You've been a part of my life for a very long time, whether it's from all the way back on my YouTube channel or you started following from Musical.ly, TikTok, Instagram. Whenever you jumped on board and decided to watch me or support me, I feel like I let a lot of you guys down with my transition from, you know, Paul Zimmer to reintroducing myself as Troy Becker. I was not transparent with it, and I think I was dealing with a lot of trauma and insecurities and things on my end, so I didn't properly know how to communicate it to you guys. And I will say, life definitely is and got a lot tougher than I ever thought it would be. That's no excuse for the way that I acted. I should have always just been straightforward, shouldn't have waited. I should have come forward immediately with the truth whenever something came up. I feel like if I took things head on from the very start, it would have saved so much drama, confusion, and hurt that I did cause people just from following this story from here to there. And if I could do it over, I would. Well, I think that's naive to say. If I could do it over, I would, because I wouldn't have learned all of the principles that I learned and become the person that I am today. So from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys, and I want to thank you for watching this video. You know, if you've ever watched any of my content, if you've ever, you know, commented or anything nice like that, I do love you guys. I miss you guys. I want to interact with you again. And if you fuck with me, like, that's totally cool. I'm happy to hear that. But if you don't fuck with me, I hope you can use this video to get peace, closure from it, and just no more thinking what happened. This is why this has been such a long video. I just want to, you know, speak from the heart. And this, wow. And this will definitely be the last time that I address all of this. And I did legally change my name to Troy Becker. I go by Troy Becker. I would appreciate if you guys can respect that. Paul Zimmer will always be somewhere in here. It's a large part of who I am, but it's not what I go by. So I would appreciate if you guys respect that.
All right.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Peace.